Welcome to this week's real estate deal breakdown. And today I'm going to talk about a deal that I own and I've owned for a while, but I want to just share the story on why I bought the property with bad tenants and how I dealt with the tenants over the years and eventually ended up getting them out and getting good tenants in there. So if you're not familiar with me, my name is Greg Helbeck. I've been a full-time real estate investor now for 10 years, done 300 plus deals. So the point of this video is to share what I've learned from the experience so you can learn it yourself and benefit from it. So if you get value from this video or this podcast, if you could do me a favor, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like the video, and if you're listening, if you could share the audio with someone else, that would be great. And that's how we keep growing this. So thank you so much. Now, I'm going to talk about a property. This is a rental. Like I've owned this for years and years and years now, but I remember buying the property and I was a little nervous to do it because at the time COVID was still going on and the tenants didn't pay rent for 2 years. So how do you prepare for a tenant situation, especially in a blue state like New York, where there's a lot of tenant protection stuff? First things first, if you're buying a property, you need to look and say, okay, if I'm going to buy this thing with non-paying tenants, can I get a good deal on this, right? Because ultimately you're buying somebody's problem. That's what you're doing. The previous landlord didn't want to deal with these people, and I don't blame him. He lived in Long Island. He didn't have many properties, and he didn't want to put up with a local eviction court in Hudson Valley when he's an hour and a half away. So I understood that this guy basically was going to give me a really good deal if I was willing to put up with the BS of his tenants. So I bought this thing for $125,000. And if I really wanted to today, I could sell this property for probably $315,000. And I put 40 grand into it. So if you're buying a property for half of what it's worth, especially as is, I mean, it's most likely worth dealing with the tenants because once you get them out, you can refinance and rent the property and pretty much get all your money back because you got it so cheap. So there's an incentive for you as the entrepreneur to stick around because there's a lot of equity involved and there's a lot of wealth that can be created through that type of property. So I knew it was worth it, especially this location. So that's the first thing. You got to get it at a discount and you got to understand that, the better the discount, the better the deal because you're going to have a bigger incentive to see it through. The second thing is that you have to have the understanding, especially if you're buying in a tenant-friendly state, that it's going to be an absolute dogfight to get these people out. Expect that, and that actually happens, you won't be disappointed. But if you think it's going to be easy and you're going to be able to just knock on their door and give them $1,000 and they're going to leave, you're going to be disappointed. So you have to have the right expectations and understand it's going to take probably longer than you would hope for, and that's just the way it is. And then the third lesson I'll tell you on this deal, you have to realize that when everything settles, when you eventually get the tenant to leave, whether you do an eviction or they leave on their own, the actual property, when it's renovated and when you put a good tenant in there and, it's a stabilized rental, is 100% worth the battle. So that's ultimately what happened. Just to summarize these lessons, number one, if you're going to get involved in a deal like this where you're buying something with a non-performing tenant that's in bad shape, you got to understand, you got to get it cheap. Number two, you need to realize it's going to take longer than you expect. And number three, it's 100% worth it if you buy it at the right price and have the right expectations. That investment in 15, 20 years, as they say, winner, winner, chicken dinner. And then a bonus lesson is that a lot of your competitors won't do this, right? So you'll have an advantage. So hopefully you got value from this little REI deal breakdown case study. If you did, do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to my channel. And if you're in the Hudson Valley and you have a house you want to sell me if you're a wholesaler, or if you want to just do a JV deal, we can wholesale it together. Send me an email, greg@velocityhousebuyers.com, or send me a DM on Instagram, and you can be the next person to do that.